The next winter is supposed to bring a return to normal cold temperatures, and that could mean a struggle for more people with the cost of home heating. To tell us about helping the neediest households is the president and CEO of ABCD, John Drew. Thank you very much for being with us, John.
Thank you for having me.
We always have winters, but I guess with your agency, every year it's always a roll of the dice about how much help you're going to get from Washington and how cold it's going to be. So what are you expecting now?
Well, there's a variety of different things. One is the price, always a consideration. But we are a federally funded, congressionally appropriated program and have been since 1981. We have an initial award because the Congress, in their wisdom, went home and did not complete its fiscal year work. So we only have funding through December 9th. Then whoever wins the elections will come back at the beginning of the year. Those who haven't will come back at the lame duck session, and we don't know what they're going to do. So what we're doing is holding on to what we have, which is a continuing resolution that says we got approximately what we got last year, maybe a little less. We haven't got all the money. I am also going to ask my friends at the legislature to, again, consider raising $20 million for heating assistance as you've done in past years. Why? Yeah, it's going to be cold. And the prices aren't going down, and for heating oil and natural gas. And right now, the maximum benefit is $850 for a household, family of four, $24,000. That may go up a bit if things work out. Not a lot, but we hope to. Last year was $1,000. And so what you do in this business with this for people's lives, because we pay the dealer, and we pay the oil company, we pay utility, is it's all, poor people have to do what I call quadratic equations to get through life. Is the price going to be up? Can I pay cash for the next delivery of $800, and where am I going to get that? Or do I pay my rent, or defer that, or maybe all kinds of equations going on in your mind when you have little.
I'm imagining that even if the per unit price of energy doesn't go up that much, almost everything else does, especially the cost of housing.
I find it incredible that the Social Security is going up 0.003%. That's $4. That's the cost of living. Has anybody looked at housing costs, rent costs? Have you looked at grocery costs? Everything's going up, except people's income that we see. And it's just going to compound the problem in Boston. And there are a number of other, what I call target cities around the country where people are really going well. Seattle, Austin, DC, Boston, where we have a lot of people sinking their money in from overseas and here, drawing in a lot of people who make a lot of money. We have 21,000 millionaires in Boston, I'm told.
We're talking with John Drew from ABCD. John, give us at least a rough idea of the eligibility here to take advantage of this program.
Let me give you about 4 spots. First of all, let me ask anybody who's listening, and I'll listen again and again, is you need to make an application. And you should not think too much about whether I qualify. I'll give you some high ends and some low ends. But it's important to apply. And we have a lot of places called 357
6012.
6012. And we will get you to a location because we handle a lot of cities and towns outside of Boston. So applications. So far we have, this is the first day of the program, officially. We've already had 14,000 applications from people from last year. What's important about getting an application is, number one, you maybe, if you're a family of one and you make $11,000 Social Security, then you get $850 benefit. But if you make $34,000, you still get a benefit of $425. Important. If you're a family of 17, you get $850, and you get high energy use. So the program itself is modeled the best we can to provide assistance to those most in need, that is the high energy users, low income people. But even if you're working and you're making a decent money, call us because you may be eligible. And if you are eligible, you will continue to be eligible for things like discounts on your electric, discounts on your telephone. You'll be able to get your house weatherized. We even do heating plants up to $4,000, $5,000, $10,000. So it's a doorway in. More importantly, it's a doorway now so that people will at least be able to get a bite of that first tank of oil, which is generally COD.
John, I guess the other advice here is that don't wait until you're running low. You should do it as soon as possible.
No, I mean, if you're running low, call us. We'll find a way to get you that quick delivery. But it's best to do it and get in so you can try to manage your winter money altogether. Let's say that you have X amount that you could pay for, but not enough for the whole winter. Maybe we fill in the difference so you can budget properly. But yeah, and get it in, because that means that we can then tell those wonderful people in Washington, we got a lot of people waiting for you guys to make this money available, so please hurry.
I want to ask you about a couple of other things going on right now, because the election is actually already started, and we got these ballot questions that ABCD is very concerned about. I want to start with question 2 about lifting the cap on charter schools. Why are you calling for a no vote on that?
Well, first of all, I already voted.
Right.
It was an interesting proposition. We've done a map of the state where all the charter schools are now. And they are over here and over here, and there's a wide swath right in the middle with no charter schools. Why? They don't have failing schools. Why? Because the community has money, generally. And they're white. Race has a lot to do with it. In Boston, poor people and people going to low-income schools are generally people without, not always, but people without a lot of money, generally black and brown. So that by putting on the ballot the question, can we have 12 more charter schools in Boston that will take money from the public school system, which is trying its best to survive, put it into 12 more schools, they're called private schools run by board of directors, and we have accomplished reducing public schools. We have got everybody in the state as vote, but 90% of the state doesn't have charters, will never have charters, and they get no skin in the game, but they don't want anybody coming to their place saying, you got failed schools. So it's so unfair. Let me just say this. If I was a younger person, I was one time, with a bunch of kids, and living in the city, I would probably look at charters because they're supposed to be so good. I want the best for my kid. But more importantly, I think that we have to say we need a very good public school system. And the more you erode that, the less we'll ever have a good public school system, as good as the suburbs.
The other question you're concerned about, John, is question 4, which calls for expanding legalization of marijuana. That is for recreational use by adults. You are against that. What are your concerns?
Well, we're as an organization, we're against it, and we've joined with the governor and the mayor and the cardinal and Speaker of the House and some others. Number one, we run a high school. We're in 3 high schools, but one of them is for kids who have fallen out through substance abuse and are coming back in. And the gateway drug was marijuana to start with. So we got these kids we see every day struggling to get back, staying sober, to get a high school diploma when they were out of here. And then I look at what's happened in Colorado. My daughter's out there. And all of the marijuana stores, most of them are in the low-income areas because the people in other places don't want them, so they say no. And we got a 20% increase in deaths in cars. We have 20% increase under 21-year-old using marijuana. They're cookies. So we're just going to throw this thing right in here and say, okay, everybody, this is fun. This is like, alcohol. No, it's a substance abuse. And it should be regulated in such a way. I'm for medical marijuana. But this is where we confuse things. What's the difference between medical marijuana and street marijuana? So there's a lot of people think the other way, that marijuana is the gateway drug to get a lot of black men in jail. That's true. But that's changed. And you are permitted in this state to have an ounce of marijuana on you. Now, so if we really want to come to grips with marijuana as a substance abuse, whatever the science is, let's not put it on a ballot. Let's really take a hard look at it. We've only just voted in medical marijuana. They've just opened the first dispensaries. Let them work. I don't really want, if I want marijuana, I can just walk up my door in 3 months, I can smell it. We know it's illegal. We know it's out there. But we really don't know what's going to really happen when we say it's legal.
John, thank you very much for being with us. John Drew from ABCD. By the way, if you want to call the hotline for fuel assistance, the number in Boston is 617-357-6012. We'll have more news in just a moment.